Hello guys, Aspen and I'm out hiking in shitty weather, that's for sure. I remember back in 2019 when the old Osmo Action was launched. I think it was in 2019, and people were saying that the Osmo Action was the GoPro killer. And in many ways it was. It was extremely good, and it still is extremely good. I'm shooting on the Osmo Action right now. Today I'm not going to test it against GoPro, but I'm going to test it a little bit against the Action 2 in 4K 60. I know that the audio is crap on the Osmo Action, but I just want to see if the image quality is much better on the Action 2. And in many ways the Osmo Action is more a pure action camera than the Action 2. And that's because the Osmo Action is built like an action camera. The whole housing is waterproof, but the Action 2 isn't. Only camera module. So in terms of pure action camera, I actually think that the Osmo Action is better if you need a camera that are fully waterproof. But if you want other things with the action camera, then I actually think that the Action 2 is better. The Action 2 has better image quality, better stabilization and better audio, and it has variation in field of view. So in many ways the Action 2 is better, but if you're only going to use the camera for action sport, I actually recommend to use the Osmo Action or GoPro. But I really love the Action 2. I do, but the sad thing about the Action 2 is that the camera isn't fully waterproof. And in many ways the Action 2 is also a little bit more fragile than the Osmo Action. But the image quality is much better. Or we will see today. But and I know that on the Osmo Action, our skin colors many times looks a little bit weird, and we just have to wait and see. The setting should be exactly the same. So we're going to switch to the Osmo Action, the Action 2, and see. And I'm going to film in Rocksteady 2.0 standard D-warp. I could choose other options in the field of view, like steady mode, where you don't have so much distortion. I just want to compare the two cameras against each other in the standard settings that were launched with the camera when it come out. I think that's the right thing to do. Maybe we're going to change the field of view on the Action 2 just to show you. But this is with D-warp on in 4K 60 on the Osmo Action. I was planning to do much more today, but due to the weather I couldn't do that. It's been raining non-stop, and it's still raining, but it's not that windy now, so hopefully the audio is okay. So let's switch to the Action 2. Okay guys, we switch now to the Dji Action 2. Great little camera, but today I'm only using the camera module, and the reason is quite simple. That's the only thing that are waterproof on the Action 2, and it's raining today, so I have to use that. So that's the downsize. So let's walk a little bit. The Action 2 was launched in 2021 at the same time as the GoPro Hero 10, a month later I think. And there was a lot of hype around that camera, especially the design and of course the quality and the image. And people was a little bit disappointed. I can understand why. Just because people was a little bit skeptical about the magnetic design, but I really like it. I think it's a smart move. The only negative thing, like I said, is that the only part that are waterproof on the Dji Action 2 is the camera module. And I can't understand that Dji say that this is an action camera when it's not. The only thing you can use for action sport is, like I said, the camera module. You can get a water housing for it, but I don't see the point at all, and the audio is crap. And you can probably hear that the audio on the Action 2 is really good, and I'm only using the camera module, which only has one mic, and the stabilization should be better than the Osmo Action. And today's video is comparing it against the Osmo Action. So pay attention to the details in the color. I'm shooting in Rocksteady 2.0 in standard D-warp. You have many choices on the Action 2. You can use Rocksteady up to ultra wide, a standard D-warp, wide and ultra wide. And you have something called steady mode. That's a new algorithm to the stabilization, and the point of that is to get rid of the distortion. Because when this camera was launched, a lot of people was complaining about the distortion, so DJI had to do something, and they added steady mode, and you can choose in standard D-warp and wide and ultra wide. But what I noticed in steady mode, because of the new algorithm and get rid of this distortion, it seems to be a little bit less details in the image, but that's just the way it is, because they need to crop in and get rid of the distortion. And you have something called horizon balancing, which is amazing. You can tilt the camera in 45 degrees, but then you only have one choice in the field of view, and that's standard. You can't change it. So we're gonna soon pick up the Osmo Action and do a little bit of running. Like I said, on the Osmo Action you only have two options. The field of view is the same, but you can choose D-warp on or off, and that means the distortion on or off. So in many ways you have a little bit cropped image on the Osmo Action in D-warp on. Let's switch to the Osmo Action and do some running. Okay guys, we are back on the Osmo Action, good old Osmo Action, and we're gonna do a little running test just to see how the stabilization is. Not a perfect day to use an action camera, but who cares? It's flat here, so we're gonna do a little run with the Osmo Action and the Dji Action 2. And the settings are 4K 60, Rocksteady 1.0 on the Osmo Action. And we're gonna use, of course, the Action 2 with Rocksteady 2.0 in 4K 60. So let's run a little. So how is the stabilization? Is it any good? And one thing you can notice in the Osmo Action, you don't have horizon balancing. So the horizon of the camera is moving all over the place. Yeah. Okay guys, we're gonna do the same test with the Action 2 in 4K 60. Running in Rocksteady standard D-warp, not horizon balancing. I'm gonna test that side by side with the Osmo Action so you can see how big of a difference it actually is with horizon balancing. But let's run. I'm holding down arm as still as I can and just see how the image quality is and everything. Good to run. Yeah, and let's turn back to the starting position so you can see how it looks. So let's run back and pay attention to the stabilization and the field of view. Of course, should be much better on the Action 2. And we're gonna do some side-by-side footage with the Osmo Action and Action 2 soon. Yeah guys, so we switch now and having the Action 2 and the Osmo Action side by side. The only thing I changed now is actually the setting on the Action 2. I'm using horizon balancing, which is a great mode. and I use that the most on the Action 2. You don't have that option on the old Osmo Action. You only have one choice, on or off with distortion. That's the only option you have. So I think that the field of view is more or less the same on these two cameras now, but like I said, you have horizon balancing on the Action 2. But there are positive and negative things about both cameras. And like I said, if you need a pure action camera, I would actually choose the Osmo Action, the old one, or a GoPro, just because of the whole housing is waterproof. With the Action 2, the only thing is the camera module, and it's a hassle if you want to charge it because you need the power module or the screen module, and you have to pay attention that there isn't any water on those modules. If there is, you can destroy the camera or the screen and power module. Let's do a little bit of running side by side. And one more thing that are really annoying about the Action 2 is the battery life on the camera module and the internal storage. The battery is too small and the storage is too little. So let's do a little bit of running and pay attention now to the stabilization, because I can pretty sure you can see the massive difference now, especially the horizon. Maybe not that easy to see in the woods, but yeah, and we're gonna switch to steady mode and just test that against the Action 2, just to see how it affects the field of view. So let's switch now. Okay guys, I did one more change on the Action 2. I wanted to show you the options you have. We have now steady mode on the Action 2, which actually is steady mode, and horizon balancing is the two settings I use the most on the Action 2. And the reason is just to get rid of the distortion and locking the horizon. You don't lock the horizon on steady mode on the Action 2, but you get rid of the distortion. And I'm also shooting in wide, so it should be a difference. As always, you don't have that choice on the Osmo Action. It's only on or off with the distortion. But it's going to be fun to see how the image quality, my skin colors, details, just to see how the good old Osmo Action is against the new Action 2. And it's also going to be fun to see if DJI will launch a new action camera. I think a new pocket camera will come and not an action camera this year. Just have to wait and see. So what do you think? Is there a massive difference? Will you upgrade if you have the Osmo Action? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't used the good old Osmo Action that much lately. I'm gonna turn so you have the clouds on my back, just to see how the details are. The setting is exactly the same. Normal color profile, 5500 on white balance, EV comp minus 0.3. The only big difference you can do with the Action 2 is actually also another big difference is you can set the ISO much higher and you don't get so much noise in the image because of a bigger sensor. Yeah, but I actually think I'm done. So what do you think? Is there anything more you want me to test with these two cameras? I'm planning to do a test regarding the overheating on the Action 2. I just got the magnetic case that DJI just launched that's supposed to get rid of the overheating issues. And I actually have to admit that I don't have any issues with the overheating. And it's kind of funny because I live in Norway, and Norway is a part of Europe, but since Norway isn't a part of EU, we can set the threshold too high. So what I actually think that Dji has done is that with the magnetic case, or the protective case, or whatever you call it, they've done it so people in EU it changed the threshold automatically when you put on the case. That's the thing I think they've done, and this is because of laws. And one thing I also can see with the case, it protects your hands because it gets extremely hot if you shoot in high frame rates. So that can be the option, the reason. With the Osmo Action, I don't think you have any overheating issues at all. I'll be shooting in 4K 60 now with the Action 2, no warnings at all, but the battery life is crap. So if there's anything else you want to see, leave a comment down below, and of course subscribe to my channel. I think I only have 10 subscribers left to hit my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Just amazing that so many people will subscribe to my channel, and hopefully we can grow from there. But I need to, I'm not going to change my content, but I'm going to be much more creative in the way I create my content. But as an outdoor guy, it's kind of hard in Norway just because of the crappy weather we have here. That's just the way it is. But of course I can go out and hike and do all kinds of things, but when you're using mostly action cameras to film and record with, the weather actually is important. But hopefully next year I can get a more expensive camera that are waterproof, a full frame camera or something that I can take with me when I'm out filming and recording. But I'm planning more now. I'm doing more research, taking more time in my edit, trying different things just to see what people like. So, but thank you so much for all the support so far. It's been just amazing, incredible to see. Nice comments, good friends, and this is so fun. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment, give me a thumb up, that's important, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.